Moon bases NASA won't talk about July 1969. Humanity steps onto the moon for the first time, but what if we weren't the first ones there? For decades, rumors have swirled of strange structures, censored images, and lost transmissions from the Apollo missions. NASA calls it fiction, insiders call it a cover-up. Somewhere in the static of old mission tapes, a voice can be heard whispering, "They're watching us." Tonight, we peel back the veil on one of space's oldest secrets. Reinstated. The moon bases NASA won't talk about. From leaked photos to vanished whistleblowers, this is the story they never wanted told. If you love uncovering the hidden, the unexplained, and the conspiracies they'd rather keep buried, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Now, let's begin. The hidden side of the moon. For as long as humans have looked up at the night sky, the moon has been our silent companion, glowing, distant, and familiar. But what most people don't realize is that we've only ever seen one side of it. Our side of the moon, the hemisphere, forever turned away from Earth, remained hidden until 1959, when the Soviet probe Luna 3 captured the first grainy images. What it revealed wasn't just craters and shadows, but something far stranger. Geometric shapes, the unnatural patterns and formations that looked eerily out of place. NASA's later missions filled in the blanks, mapping the moon in stunning detail. But when those images were released to the public, researchers began noticing something unusual. Certain areas, especially near craters like Tsiolkovsky and Zeeman, appeared blurred, pixelated, or even completely blacked out. NASA said it was just data corruption. Others weren't so sure. Over the years, a handful of former insiders have hinted that not everything on those photos was natural. One anonymous engineer claimed that early lunar mapping teams were ordered to remove anomalous structures before publication. Another alleged that specific coordinates on the far side were marked as restricted access. One, even to some mission scientists. Could it be that something or someone had already made its home there long before Apollo ever arrived? And if so, why hide it? The leaked photos. In the decades following Apollo, thousands of photographs from NASA's lunar missions were released to the public. Most showed exactly what you'd expect: endless gray landscapes, crater shadows, dust, and silence. But buried among them were a handful of images that didn't fit the pattern. Take AS-17-135-20680. An official photo from Apollo 17, the final moon mission. At first glance, it looks ordinary, a shot of the lunar horizon. But zoom in, and you'll see something that shouldn't be there. Rising above the surface is a faint, vertical shape, tall, symmetrical, and reflective. Researchers began calling it the tower. NASA dismissed it as a lens flare. Yet, when independent analysts enhanced the image using modern software, the structure appeared solid, casting a faint shadow across the terrain. That's when whispers began to surface from inside NASA itself. Former employee Ken Johnston, who once handled Apollo photographic data, claimed that several images were airbrushed before being shown to the public. According to him, technicians were ordered to remove artificial-looking structures from lunar photos to prevent public panic. Then came Richard Hoagland, a former NASA consultant turned researcher who popularized the idea of the city on the moon. Using light angles and geometric analysis, he argued that shattered glass-like ruins could be seen in several Apollo photos, ruins that reflected sunlight in ways that rocks never could. Skeptics, of course, dismissed these claims as imagination, optical illusion, or digital distortion. But the timing of NASA's censorship only deepened suspicion. Why, some asked, were certain high-resolution images suddenly lost, corrupted, or classified, just as the public began to study them more closely? If these anomalies were truly nothing but tricks of light, why erase them at all? And if they weren't, then the question becomes far more unsettling. What did NASA really see on the moon? The secret missions officially, Apollo 17 marked the end of humanity's visits to the moon. But if you dig deep enough into declassified documents and forgotten testimonies, another story begins to emerge, one that never made it into the history books. It starts with Project Horizon, a real U.S. Army plan from 1959. The documents, now public, describe a proposal to build a permanent military base on the moon. Nuclear reactors, underground living quarters, even missile silos, all mapped out in chilling detail. The plan was shelved, officially due to cost. Unofficially, some say it went dark. Then came the rumors of a mission that never existed, Apollo 20. According to leaked footage that appeared online in the mid-2000s, Apollo 20 was a secret US-Soviet collaboration launched in 1976, years after the Apollo program had supposedly ended. The mission's target? The far side of the moon near the crater Delport. The grainy videos that surfaced showed what appeared to be an enormous, elongated object half buried in the lunar dust, a craft unlike anything built on Earth. In another clip, the alleged astronauts entered the wreck and found a body. Humanoid, female, with strange markings on her face. Internet sleuths named her the Lisa EBE. NASA quickly labeled the videos an elaborate hoax, but the details, the camera angles, the equipment, the authentic mission insignia, matched real Apollo technology almost perfectly. Even stranger, the man who claimed to be a member of the mission, William Rutledge, provided information about lunar coordinates that corresponded with real mapped anomalies. And yet, his statements vanished from the web within months. Accounts deleted, videos pulled, interviews scrubbed. Around the same time, former NASA contractor Donna Hare came forward, claiming she saw technicians airbrushing unexplained structures from satellite and lunar photos. She said some employees even lost their jobs after asking too many questions. Coincidence? Maybe. But if Apollo 20 was fake, why did its imagery mirror locations later confirmed by high-resolution lunar mapping? Could there have been missions beyond Apollo 17? Secret flights conducted in silence, funded by black budgets, and buried under national security? If so, perhaps the phrase, "we've never been back to the moon," isn't true at all. Maybe we never left. Modern evidence. The Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. Decades passed, and the stories of secret moon missions faded into legend. Then, in 2009, NASA launched the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, the most advanced lunar mapping mission ever attempted. Its purpose was simple: to create a high-resolution, complete image of the moon's surface. But almost immediately, something didn't add up. Researchers who examined the publicly released images began noticing small inconsistencies. Strange geometric formations, repeating patterns, and areas that appeared deliberately blurred. Some locations, like the region around Paracelsus C crater on the far side, displayed shapes that didn't look random at all. Parallel lines, sharp right angles, and even what seemed to be the remains of symmetrical structures. NASA said it was just a stitching error, a side effect of digital compression. But critics pointed out that the same errors appeared again and again at the exact same coordinates, even across different imaging sessions. Then came the Google Moon discoveries. Amateur researchers scanning through data claimed to find towering shadows and artificial-looking domes in several locations. They gave them names: the Shard, the Castle, the Tower. Each seemed to rise hundreds, sometimes thousands of meters above the lunar surface. NASA denied their existence, saying they were optical illusions caused by photo artifacts. Yet the pixelation around those coordinates was unusually heavy, as if something had been digitally obscured. Even more curious was how other nations' lunar missions began showing similar anomalies. China's Chang'e 4 probe, which landed on the far side in 2019, sent back a few images that briefly appeared online before being quietly removed. In those photos, sharp, angular shadows and reflective points could be seen in regions previously marked as data unavailable in NASA's maps. When questioned, space agencies offered no comment. Some independent analysts believe that what we're seeing isn't alien at all, but human. Secret outposts, relics of covert military experiments from the Cold War era, quietly maintained and never acknowledged. If that sounds impossible, consider this. NASA's own Artemis Accords now allow for zones of non-interference on the lunar surface, areas other nations must not approach. Officially, these are for safety. Unofficially, they sound a lot like restricted zones. So what exactly is hidden in those blurred craters? Dust, rocks, and shadows? Or the ruins of something far more deliberate? The alien angle? For some, the idea of secret human bases on the moon is startling enough. The alien angle. For some, the idea of secret human bases on the moon is startling enough, but for others, the truth goes even deeper. And much further back. Throughout the Apollo era, there were whispers among mission staff that not everything captured by the astronauts made it to the public. Certain radio transmissions, intercepted and transcribed, hinted at something extraordinary. One phrase has echoed for decades through conspiracy circles. They're here, already watching us. The claim comes from a supposed NSA intercept during the Apollo 11 mission, audio that was allegedly classified and later leaked in fragments. In it, the astronauts describe large objects, observing them from a distance near the crater Aristarchus. NASA, of course, dismissed this as pure fabrication. But even Buzz Aldrin, in later interviews, admitted that the crew had seen something moving beside them, something they couldn't identify. Then came the testimony of Carl Wolf, a U.S. Air Force technician assigned to a photo lab at Langley. Wolf stated that he was shown lunar images by another technician who whispered that NASA had discovered massive structures on the dark side of the moon. Not craters, not rocks, but buildings, towers, machines. Wolf went public in 2001. He died suddenly in 2018 after being struck by a vehicle, just days after agreeing to a follow-up interview. And it wasn't only engineers who spoke out. Declassified documents from the CIA's Stargate project, America's secret remote viewing program, include several sessions where psychic operatives were tasked with viewing the moon. The descriptions they gave were eerily consistent: vast underground chambers, mechanical activity, and beings in hibernation. Could this all be coincidence? Imagination feeding on myth? Or are these fragments of a story that's been buried under layers of disinformation? Some researchers suggest that the moon may have served as an observation post for an ancient civilization, or even a present one. The far side, hidden from Earth's view, would be the perfect place for an outpost to monitor human development without detection. And if that's true, perhaps that explains why we stopped going. Not because of budget cuts or fading public interest, but because we were told to stay away. So the question remains, did we find evidence of an alien presence, or did they find us? The new race back to the moon. Half a century after Apollo 17, humanity is returning to the moon. But this time, it's not just about exploration. Something deeper and quieter seems to be driving the new race. NASA's Artemis program promises to land astronauts on the lunar surface again, aiming for the moon's south pole, a region bathed in permanent shadow. Officially, the reason is simple: water ice. In reality, it's one of the most mysterious and least photographed places on the moon. Satellite scans show odd heat signatures and unusual reflections in those dark craters. Some appear metallic, others emit weak electromagnetic readings as if something buried beneath the surface is still active. NASA explains it as data noise. But to those who've studied lunar anomalies for decades, it sounds like a new excuse for an old pattern: deny, deflect, and classify. Meanwhile, private companies and military contractors are quietly joining the mission. SpaceX will handle the landers. Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman are building habitats and cargo systems. Buried in some of these contracts are references to classified payloads, sealed modules that won't appear in public manifests. At the same time, the Pentagon has begun talking about cislunar defense, the idea of monitoring and protecting the region of space between Earth and the Moon. Officials claim it's about safety and satellite traffic, but some experts suspect it's about control, ensuring that whatever's found up there stays under one flag. China, too, has its eyes on the far side. Its Chang'e missions have returned with data that, according to a few leaked reports, contains unexplainable anomalies. Their next mission, Chang'e 7, is said to target the very same craters that Artemis will explore. It's almost as if every major power suddenly wants to occupy the same few square kilometers of lunar ground. Coincidence? Or competition over something that's already there? So maybe this new lunar race isn't about discovery at all. Maybe it's about rediscovery, returning to a place we once reached, saw something, and then swore to forget. What's really up there? Maybe the moon is exactly what NASA says it is, a silent, lifeless rock drifting through space. Or maybe it's something else, From blurred satellite photos to vanished whistleblowers, from secret missions to strange lights that still flicker across the lunar surface, the pattern is always the same. Evidence appears, questions are asked, and then silence. Perhaps that silence is the loudest truth of all. One thing is certain, we're going back. Whether it's the Artemis astronauts, China's next lander, or something even more secret, soon humanity will stand on the moon again. And when that happens, we might finally learn what's been waiting for us there all along. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Most of the people who watch these videos still aren't subscribed, so if you enjoy exploring the mysteries they don't want us to talk about, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We uncover new truths every week, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.